Mmm, yummy. Oh, but, well, I can't eat all this. I mean, it looks so good, but well, I just couldn't possibly sit down and dig in because I'm having a dinner party. You thought I was going to say dieting, didn't you? Nah, I gave up on diets. And after you see how you can learn to eat food like this and stay healthy and trim, you'll give up dieting too. So say goodbye to counting calories, diet plans, prepackaged foods, protein shakes, skimpy portions, fad diets, liquid diets, starvation diets. Now get ready to shed those extra pounds because I am going to show you how to eat great and lose weight.
In the next 45 minutes, I am going to tell you some of the ways I've found that keep me and my family feeling healthy and trim. Okay, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. And I don't claim to be. But I don't think I'm alone in having tried hundreds of diets in my life. And I know I'm not alone in discovering that diets don't work. Well, are you saying, well, what's summersizing if it's not a diet? It's a way of life. It's a skill to control one's weight. And since skills are learned, anyone can master this. We don't need to starve ourselves or deprive ourselves of foods that we love. We don't have to give up flavor. And simply by changing the way we eat, we don't have to sacrifice what we eat. Now, I've talked with hundreds of nutritionists, and their feedback was as varied as their hairstyles. But seriously, summersizing is based on important information I have gathered from many nutritionists, and the bottom line is that it works for me. And subsequently, I've seen it work with my family and friends who have adopted these methods. They've lost the unwanted pounds and have more energy than ever. In fact, they've had such success that they all urged me to share summersizing with you. So what is summersizing?
Summersizing is eating healthy and staying fit but not fanatic. As I've gotten older, my metabolism has slowed down and I find it takes a little more effort to stay healthy and trim. But by summersizing, I've learned how to eat food in a way that aids in digestion and weight control without leaving me feeling hungry, listless, or deprived. Part of summersizing includes eating fresh, low-fat foods. I love fresh food. It's tastier and more nutritious. And another important aspect of summersizing is avoiding sugary processed foods and properly combining delicious and nutritious foods. Summersizing is going to change your life. Summersizing has changed my whole outlook on eating healthy and staying trim. It could change yours too. Look what it's done for my friend Michael.
When I wanted to lose weight before, I used to count fat grams. Unfortunately, I felt so deprived in the amount of food I was eating and always counting that I really wasn't happy with the amount of weight loss I had. Since I've been summersizing, for the last 12 weeks, I've lost 20 pounds. And the amount of food and the quantity and the quality of the food is exceptional. Today for lunch, I'm having a large Caesar salad with grilled chicken on it, broccoli, and a decaf iced tea. The only thing I've left off is the croutons. It's amazingly great, these combinations of food and the results.
Summersizing is going to change your life. When you summersize, you won't have any gas or heartburn. You won't get bloated or tired after a big meal. You won't need a nap in the middle of the afternoon. And when you learn to summersize, your digestive system will run like clockwork. You'll have the energy you need and you'll lose weight. What more could you ask for, really? So now get ready to have a little fun as we learn how to summersize. First, I'm going to show you how I lose weight in what I call level 1 of summersizing, and then I'll show you how I maintain my weight in level 2. So let's get started with the first step of eating great and losing weight.
Now it's time to educate ourselves about health and nutrition.
Our bodies don't come with an instruction manual. That's why we need to teach ourselves about what they need and how they work. Why don't diets work? For me, it was a mystery. I was curious, and it took some detective work for me to find out.
D is for die.
Business had been brisk in the City of Angels, although the weather was anything but. It was a hot afternoon, which made wearing this trench coat all the more uncomfortable. I was finally gonna rest my dogs when I got the call that tipped off a series of events that would change my life.
There's been a crime,
So, call the police.
but I need your help.
Who is this?
They call me the Fat Man.
And the crime, Fat Man?
The way people diet, it's dangerous.
Dieting? That's what you wanted to talk to me about? You need help, buddy, but not the kind I can help you with.
I've tried them all, but I always gain the weight back.
You tried counting calories?
Yep, I've tried every diet there is, and sure, I lose the weight at first, but it never stays off, and I can't find the culprit.
I love a good mystery, and I had to admit I was a little puzzled.
Well, I'll meet you. But come alone. Don't try to bring any muscle.
Not a problem, you see. Almost every time I lose weight, I lose my muscle too. And then when I gain the weight back, all I get is the fat.
I guess that's why they call you Fat Man. All right, I'll take the case.
That's how it started. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, but I just read that 95% of people who lose weight gain it all back within 5 years. Maybe I was onto something big. I got an anonymous tip to meet somebody named Deep Esophagus, so I hightailed it to a dive south of Slauson to talk to him about the body. I need to talk to you about dieting.
No, you don't. You got the wrong guy, doll. You need Mr. Willpower. If you can find him, he comes and goes.
Willpower. Funny. No, it's you I want. A client of mine can't seem to keep his weight down, and I think you might know something about it.
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, but would a little dough refresh your memory?
I don't know. Things are still pretty fuzzy.
How about a little more dough?
Oh, that did it. It's a lot clearer now. It's survival instinct.
Survival instinct?
You ain't exactly a professor of physiology, are you, Shane?
Hey, wait a minute.
Think about it. This client of yours, let's say his body needs 2,500 calories a day to live. He wants to lose weight. He goes on a diet, adjusts down to 2,000 calories a day. His body gets the extra energy it needs from burning off fat cells. Boom, he loses weight. Simple, right?
Right.
Wrong. His body realizes his fat stores are being depleted and it adjusts down. The metabolism slows down to 2,000 calories a day.
Does he have enough energy to get through the day on 2,000 calories?
Oh, he might feel a little sluggish. Those calorie counters always feel sluggish. But the worst part is, if he stays on this 2,000 calorie a day diet, his body metabolism adjusts down further. So it uses, say, 1,700 calories a day for energy, and it stores, say, 300 a day as fat. It's survival instinct.
Wait, so to protect him from starving to death, his body adjusts to fewer calories?
Bingo! And if he quits, and they all quit, and goes back to 2,500 calories a day, while his body is adjusted to 1,700 calories a day, you do the math. That leaves up to 800 calories a day to be stored as fat.
Oh, So that's why after each diet, people gain back more weight than they lost the last time.
That's it.
I didn't want to admit it, but the man had all the answers. Well, thanks. You've been a big help.
Anytime, doll. Anytime you need a little lesson in physiology, you know who to talk to. Just be sure to bring plenty of dough.
I'd closed the case and fingered the culprit. The problem turned out to be survival instinct. Now I knew how to outwit it. Stop counting calories, fat man, or your weight will go up and down like a ride at Coney Island.
Now I realize that diets don't work, period. And that's why I'm so excited about Sommersizing, because it's not a quick fix like calorie counting. It's not a diet. Like I said before, it's a skill to forever be in control of your weight. Just look what Sommersizing has done for my friend Maria.
I really love this program. I'm able to eat all the foods that I ever wanted and never come away feeling hungry. I've tried so many different dieting plans over the years where you're virtually starving yourself or eating foods that are plastic. With this, I'm eating well-balanced diet, good nutritional foods, and I never walk away from a meal unsatisfied. Suzanne knows that I've had problems trying to lose those last 10 pounds. In this program, the weight came off in a very short period of time. I've been thrilled with the results, and I just couldn't ask for anything more. This has become a lifestyle for me, and it works.
Thanks, Maria. Okay, why don't we go over the guidelines of Sommersizing in Level 1?
To eat great and lose weight, we need to eliminate a few foods from our diet.
With Sommersizing, we want to avoid sugar. Sugar is the body's greatest enemy. But don't panic, we give up sugar for a really good reason, and it's well worth the sacrifice. Would you believe that the average American consumes more than 50 pounds of sugar every year? And the human body doesn't need to receive sugar from outside sources because it can produce its own sugar in the form of glucose. Glucose is our body's energy source. And when we need energy, our body will transform our fats into glucose as needed. And if we give our body more sugar or glucose than it needs, it'll send it to the fat cells to be stored for later use. So, cutting out sugar forces our body to use its fat reserves as an energy source. We also need to eliminate white flour. The average American eats more than 3 of these 50-pound bags every year. Foods made with white flour turn rapidly into excess amounts of glucose, but don't despair. For every food made with white flour, there's a delicious alternative made with whole grain flour. And when we get to Level 2, you can reintroduce some sugar and white flour in moderation. Besides avoiding these ingredients, there's another important part of the first level of Sommersizing: changing our eating habits by eating foods in proper combinations. I first learned about food combining in France. The theory is that as long as you eat foods in proper combinations with one another, you can eat healthy portions and not gain weight. Now, I've taken that basic premise of food combining, culled from many sources, and adapted it to the types of food we eat in America, and the results are terrific. Once you start Sommersizing, you will lose that oh-so-stuffed feeling, and soon you'll require less food to feel satisfied. The basis of food combining is that you eat fruit alone and that you try to keep proteins or fats separate from carbohydrates. But to really learn how to combine our foods, first we need to separate.
Separate foods into Sommersized groups. The first Sommersized group is made up of foods high in protein and/or fats. Now, I put protein and fats in the same category because many foods that contain protein also contain fat. I call this group pro-fats. Now, to help you learn what belongs in this category, I will always associate this group with color pink. Meat, fish, poultry, eggs, butter, oil, and cheese all fit into the pro-fats group. Next, we have our carbohydrates, which we'll associate with the color gold. Flour, rice, grains, bread, pasta, beans, mustard, and non-fat dairy products all fall into the carbohydrate group. We'll color the vegetable group green. Broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms, asparagus, string beans, tomatoes, lettuce, celery, and zucchini are some of the numerous foods found in the vegetable group. And the fruit group is orange. Apples, peaches, pears, plums, berries, mangoes, pineapples, grapes, papayas, melons, and of course oranges all fall into the fruit group.
So, we have 4 Somers-Size groups. While many foods are made up of combinations of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, for Somers-Sizing purposes, we've grouped them by their predominant feature. I'll show you how I combine these foods in a way that maximizes my digestive processes. Okay, so when I'm trying to lose weight, I never eat proteins or fats with carbohydrates, but I do eat vegetables with the pro-fats group. Vegetables are a great source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and vegetables can also be eaten with carbohydrates. Of course, vegetables, as with every group, can be eaten all by themselves. Fruit is the only group that must always be eaten separately. If you mix fruit with other foods, it can lose its nutritional benefits and upset the digestive process. I am not telling you not to eat fruit. Please, eat fruit. It's great. But eat it at least 20 minutes before a carbohydrate meal or 1 hour before a pro-fat meal. If you want fruit as a snack, wait at least 2 hours after your last meal. This is especially important during level 1. Later on, when we're planning menus, I'll explain how you can effectively incorporate fruit into your meals. Eating in proper combinations and eliminating sugar and white flour keeps my blood sugar from fluctuating too much. My body is on a much more even keel. I don't get those highs and lows in my energy level, and I've stopped yawning in the afternoon. To keep our energy level constant, it's important not to skip meals. You see, when you skip a meal, your body's survival instinct kicks in. It doesn't know when you're going to feed it again, so it hangs on to every morsel instead of properly processing the food. But if you remember to eat 3 meals a day, and as long as you combine correctly, you can eat until you're full and still lose weight. Somers-Sizing provides you with plenty of variety. You can eat so many things with only a few exceptions. But these exceptions are a very important part of this program. Now, I want to talk to you about funky foods.
Funky foods don't fit into level 1 of Somers-Sizing.
All of these foods are natural sources of sugar. Beets, molasses, honey, carrots, and maple syrup. But natural or not, there's still sugar, and I avoid them completely in level 1 when I'm trying to lose weight. Corn, potatoes, and white rice are extremely high in starch, which means they turn right to sugar. And remember, we don't need to give our body extra sugar. We can use our fat reserves. Now, these foods don't seem to fit into any one of our 4 Somers-Size food groups. Avocados, coconut, olives, liver, and nuts, because they all have protein or fats and carbohydrates. For example, nuts. They are protein, they do have fat, but they're also rich in carbohydrates. A note about caffeine, just like any other funky foods, caffeine causes you to have those highs and lows. It saps you of your natural energy. I'd really hate to see you eat a perfectly combined meal and then blow it with 1 cup of coffee. Feel free to drink decaffeinated coffees and herbal teas, and don't worry, when you combine correctly, you'll get a natural energy boost instead of an artificial caffeine buzz. As for alcohol, everyone knows it makes you fat. Red wine, however, has recently been found to have had beneficial effects on your heart, and we will incorporate it later in level 2. But during level 1, we will steer clear of all alcohol. I know that some of these funky foods have great nutritional value, but I get all the nutrients I need from other pro-fats, vegetables, fruits, and carbos. So when I'm trying to lose weight on level 1, I eliminate all funky foods. Later on, I'll show you how I integrate them during the maintenance level of Somers-Sizing.
Funky foods, stop. No crossing. No funky foods on level 1. You're too darn funky for level 1. See ya.
When you realize what an incredible variety of food you can eat when you Somers-Size, you won't feel like you're missing out at all. And because your digestive system starts reacting properly, you'll feel better than ever. I never experienced those highs and lows that I used to when I was eating the sugary foods or
caffeine, or poorly combined meals. Another thing is that you don't have to say goodbye to these foods forever. They'll be back in moderation in level 2. But personally, I've had so much more energy now that I Somersize. I find myself exercising more and more. Remember, my motto is fit but not fanatic. So when I exercise, it can be as simple as taking a walk after a meal or going for a bike ride. Or if you have kids, play tag with them. In my next video, we'll talk more extensively about ways to incorporate exercise into your lifestyle. But the most important thing to remember is to just get out and do something, anything.
Create exciting meals.
So now I'm going to show you how you eat great and lose weight. At every meal, you get to decide what you want to eat. So let's start with the beginning of the day. What do you like to eat for breakfast? Alan likes to have fruit in the morning, and that's great. He can eat as much fruit as he wants. And remember, fruit is to be eaten alone. So Alan can make a great fruit salad or have some melon, or my favorite, a fruit smoothie. What's in the smoothie this morning, Alan?
Well, we have mango, papaya, raspberries, and orange juice.
Yum.
That's yours.
Thank you. Now, the only fruit I recommend you stay away from is bananas, because they are very rich in carbohydrates. But otherwise, eat as much fruit as you want. Remember, after you eat your fruit, if you wait 20 minutes, you can follow up with a carbohydrate meal. I like to have my fruit, shower, read the paper, and then enjoy any of these foods from my carbohydrate group. Sometimes this is where I do my easy and quick 15-minute workout, which I'll show you in detail in my next video. If you decide to have a carbohydrate breakfast, there are tons of options. Whole wheat, rye, or pumpernickel toast, or bagels, oatmeal, shredded wheat, wheat flakes or nuggets, non-fat yogurt, and cottage cheese, to name a few. Sometimes I like to have grilled whole wheat bread with sliced tomatoes and basil for breakfast. Now, all of these foods would make a summer-sized carbohydrate meal. So you can eat any of these foods in combination until you're full. Now remember, non-fat milk products are grouped as a carbohydrate for summersizing. So if you want to eat milk products with your carbo meal, you must choose non-fat products. And if you're used to putting sugar on your cereal and you must have something sweet, switch to artificial sweeteners.
Well, what if I wanted to have eggs instead?
Oh, have them. You know, fried, scrambled, hard-boiled, soft-boiled, make an omelet. But remember, if you eat fruit first, you must wait at least an hour before you have a pro-fat meal. But since eggs are in our pro-fats group, you may combine them with any other protein, fat, or with anything in the vegetable group.
That's right, Miss Summers. Let's start this prize package with some brand new fresh eggs. These little wonders are part of our Pro-Fats group. Delicate and delicious. But our package doesn't stop there. Combine these little gems with anything from the vegetable group, like adorable mushrooms. Whoa! Popeye's favorite, spinach. Wow! Don't shed any tears over onions. There's more. Of course, you may combine foods from its own protein fats group. Say cheese. Diced or sliced, it's always nice. Ham. Cheese. And let's top it off with crispy golden brown, you guessed it, bring home the bacon. A mighty omelet for a mighty appetite. Your prize package is worth pounds and inches off your waist.
Looks great, Mom. How about some toast?
Whoa, little Betty. Toast is a carbohydrate not allowed in this prize Pro-Fats package.
Yum, yum, delicious. And I'm full.
You're also summer-sized, little Betty. Bravo, Bum.
So if you want to have a pro-fats breakfast, you could have an omelet like Little Betty, or see your recipe cards for this terrific zucchini frittata.
Here's our breakfast summary card. One breakfast choice is the all-fruit meal. Another breakfast is the all-carbohydrate meal, like wheat toast with non-fat cottage cheese or whole grain cereal with non-fat milk.
A third choice is all fruit. Then wait 20 minutes and have a carbo meal. And a fourth choice for breakfast is a protein fat meal like an omelet, vegetable frittata, or anything that is made of pro-fats and vegetables.
Now remember, in the pro-fat meal, you can have any kind of protein or fat. This means you can eat ham, bacon, or sausage without affecting your weight loss. But I really hesitate to tell you that because personally, I try to stay away from foods high in fat and cholesterol because they can cause other health problems, especially if you have high cholesterol like Alan. Stick to lean meats and products low in saturated fats like canola margarine and olive oil. And sometimes Alan likes the zucchini frittata without any egg yolks. Now that you're becoming more familiar with Somersizing, let's jump forward and see what's for lunch. You probably guessed that you get to choose which food combination you want to eat.
Our first lucky contestant is you, Miss Somers. And now it's time to decide what to eat for lunch on Let's Make a Meal. Let's see what's behind door number 1. Well, Miss Somers, how would you like to make a meal with any of these prize-winning proteins or fats? Your Pro-Fats package includes marvelous meats. Reel in the catch of the day with fresh fish. And Miss Somers, I know you'll love this. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Chicken! Also included are these delightful dairy products. Everything's better with brie, blue cheese, butter, or extra special eggs. And with your Pro-Fats meal, don't forget your bonus food. Ever varied vegetables. That's door number 1 for a prize-winning Pro-Fats meal. Would you like to stop there, Miss Somers? Or would you like to make a meal with what's behind door number 2? All right then, let's make a meal with what's behind door number 2. Charming carbohydrates, including beautiful beans and bountiful breads. Or why not take a trip to old Italy with precious pastas like whole grain spaghetti? Or how about some really rockin' wild rice? Enjoy cereal with no-nonsense, non-fat dairy products. Once again, you'll receive our bonus food, vegetables. You'll find gorgeous green beans, succulent squash, incredible eggplant, and... Oh, Carol, your thumbnail's definitely not part of our vegetable group. So, what will you make, Miss Somers? A Pro-Fats meal from door number 1? Yeah. Or a carbo meal from door number 2? What will it be?
Suzanne, what are we making for lunch?
I don't know. You want door number 1 or door number 2?
Huh?
Oh, I was just thinking about that. What are you in the mood for?
I don't know, pasta maybe, or...
Well, if you feel like carbos, we could have pasta with fresh tomato sauce, or we could have brown rice with vegetables, a garden salad,
A vegetarian sandwich.
Oh, I know. We could have black bean chili with fresh tomato salsa.
Whoa, that sounds great. But is it summer-sized?
Of course. Beans are a very special food. Although they're very high in protein, we've placed them in our carbohydrate group because they have no fat. So don't get confused by the protein in the beans and think that they belong in the pro-fats group. Beans are rich in carbohydrates, and for summerizing purposes, they need to be treated as a carbohydrate.
So, black beans...
Are carbohydrate.
Kidney beans?
Carbohydrate.
Lima beans.
Carbo, Alan, carbo.
Navy beans are a protein.
Well, they do have protein, but for summerizing, they're grouped as a carbohydrate. Oh, thank you. Yum. You'll find this black bean recipe with fresh tomato salsa with your recipe cards, but I like to eat it with lavash bread. It's sort of like a tortilla, but it has no oil, and it's very important that no fat sneak into our carbo and veggie meal.
String beans. Don't tell me. Carbohydrate.
Vegetable.
Well, this is one terrific carbohydrate meal. But what if we wanted protein?
Ah. What are you in the mood for?
Suddenly, I'm in the mood for protein.
Well, we could have grilled chicken and vegetables or swordfish steaks.
How about a tuna sandwich?
No, not on level 1, not when we're losing weight.
I don't get it.
Well, let's look at a tuna sandwich. As we've said, we don't want to mix pro-fats and carbos on level 1 when we're trying to lose weight. But when we break down a tuna sandwich into Somers-Size food groups, you have tuna, a protein, mayonnaise, a fat, and bread, a carbohydrate. Altogether, a no-no.
On level 2, when we're just trying to maintain our weight, a tuna sandwich on whole wheat bread would be fine, but wait a minute, Alan, you don't even like tuna fish.
I know, I was just testing. But how about some turkey sausages with peppers and onions and a fabulous green salad?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because look, it's a perfect pro-fat vegetable dish. See your recipe cards to make this simple and delicious meal.
Let's review our lunch options. As with breakfast, you can have a meal made up of carbohydrates and vegetables, like our black bean chili with fresh tomato salsa, or pro-fats and vegetables, like grilled meats and a salad. Every now and then you may feel like lunch number 3, which is a meal from only one individual food group at a time.
Well, I'm all rested up for the next meal.
Okay, Alan, well, now that you're a pro at summer-sizing, tell me what we can have for dinner on level 1.
Green beans.
Green beans? That's it? Don't you want anything else to go with it?
Well, I was thinking about something along the lines of this. Huh?
Oh, wow, this looks great.
Thank you. It's lemon roasted chicken, green beans with garlic, and a Greek salad with no olives.
I'm so impressed.
I don't like to toot my own horn, but it is pretty incredible. Nothing's too good for the missus.
Oh, this is so great. I almost forgot to mention what we could have had as a carbo meal instead. So, if you feel like carbohydrates, well, then you can make this wonderful whole wheat artichoke pasta with fresh tomato sauce and absolutely no fat.
This is the easiest and most delicious pasta you could ever imagine. You'll find the complete instructions for both of these terrific meals on your recipe cards.
Let's review dinner options with a summary card. You have the same choices for dinner that you have for lunch. Dinner number 1 is a combination of carbohydrates and vegetables like pasta with fresh tomato sauce. Number 2 is a pro-fats and vegetable meal like that delicious lemon chicken and Greek salad that Alan made for me. Or, of course, you could have dinner number 3, which is a meal from only one individual food group at a time, like the all-fruit or all-vegetable meal.
Okay, so we've taken you through an entire day of summer-sizing. Just a few more hints I wanted to give you. For health reasons, if you find that you're eating mostly pro-fats meals, please make sure you watch your fat intake and try to balance your meals with more vegetables rather than relying on meats and other fatty foods. But don't skip meals. That's very important. One other tip, as a general rule, you need to wait 3 hours between meals if you're switching from a pro-fats meal to a carbo meal or vice versa. There. That's all you need to know to start summer-sizing. Now, you guessed it, we're going shopping.
And now something to remember while you grocery shop. Take your time. Check your labels carefully. It may say wheat bread, but that doesn't guarantee that it's made with wheat flour and not white flour. Look carefully for any added honey, fats, or nuts, and for hidden sugars and funky foods. Now, this bread has brown sugar, raisin juice, and soybean oil, all no-nos in level 1. Now, here's a bread made entirely from whole grains. It has sprouted wheat, malted barley, millet, lentil, and spelt. And these are all great alternatives to white flour. Breads made with rye flour and pumpernickel flour are also terrific summer-sized foods. Okay, here are some pretzels made from whole wheat flour. They have absolutely no added fat. What a great summer-sized snack. And now, let's take a look at a few special foods. Lemons and limes are fruits, but both have so little sugar content that I don't treat them like other summer-sized fruits. I eat them with anything. They're great in sauces and dressings, and I use them often to flavor dishes in any summer-sized category. And how about the terrific tomato? While technically it's a fruit like these pears, for summer-sized purposes, we group the tomato as a vegetable. So just treat it like a veggie and you'll be fine. Finally, buy fresh foods whenever possible. Happy shopping. It's time to graduate to the second level of summersizing.
Just a few short weeks ago, we began our journey toward a healthier lifestyle. We said goodbye to sugar and white flour. We said no more to combining pro-fats and carbohydrates. We focused on summersizing, and we made it a reality. Now, looking back, doesn't it seem like just yesterday when Deep Esophagus debunked calorie counting and when little Betty asked for toast with her omelet? But today, we're turning the corner. We're ready to face a brand new world filled with exciting promises, meals with funky foods, wine, and chocolate. That's why today is both exciting and bittersweet. We set out aiming high at our goals, and we've reached them. We've eaten great meals, and we've mastered summer-sized recipes in level 1. We're feeling healthier than ever, and we've lost the weight we wanted to lose. Congratulations, graduates. And welcome to the second level of summersizing. You've earned it.
Congratulations. Now you're going to learn how to summersize for the rest of your life. Now here's what happened in level 1 of summersizing. You've been eating in a way that keeps your blood sugar level from shooting up really high and bottoming out really low. Now that your body is trained to react properly, you can integrate those previously forbidden foods in moderate amounts without your body overreacting. You've done the hard part. Now, as long as you find the balance, you can eat whatever you want in moderation. Your body's in great condition, but you have to keep it that way. If you revert to your old habits of eating sugar, white flour, and bad combinations, your body is going to end up back at square one. So let's go through our meals and see how we can loosen the reins. We'll incorporate new foods while keeping our bodies healthy and trim.
Don't abuse the privilege and overindulge these guys, but go ahead and enjoy them occasionally.
Okay, so after graduating to level 2, I could enjoy a glass of wine with my meal. Or I may indulge in a little dessert. It depends on what I'm craving. As long as I don't indulge myself on every whim, I generally find that I rarely have to deny myself. I still stay away from white flour dinner rolls smothered with butter and French fries, but hey, maybe French fries are your Achilles heel. My Achilles heel is cake. Even cheap, day-old supermarket cake. The most important thing is, if you decide to blow it, don't beat yourself up. You can always get your balance back. So you ate a plate of French fries, spent a couple of days back on level 1. We're all human, and every now and then it's okay to go for it, especially on special occasions. As I said, when you're on level 2, find an occasion when you know you're gonna blow it and just make sure it's really worth it. I think I better go on a bike ride tomorrow.
You look great.
Huh?
Look thin. Tell me about the diet. Look, how many pounds?
From 195 to 168.
How?
How? Eating like I've never eaten before. I have never, ever been able to dine. Ever. I hate counting calories. I hate doing exercise. And I found out you don't have to count calories. I thought I died and went to heaven.
Great. A happy guy. Herb,
You better put your dogs on this eating plan.
I'm gonna have to put them on it.
Yeah, right. You need to stop eating proteins and carbohydrates together, yes. You two are getting fat. You're getting fat, huh? I know, but I like eating meat and potatoes. I like it. Thanks, Earl.
Bye.
Oh, bye. 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 Bye.
That's how you do.
Okay, we're on the second level of Sommersizing, and I am hungry. Now let's see what we can have for breakfast. As an alternative to toast with non-fat cottage cheese, if you want, go ahead, use a little canola margarine. Or if you can find berry jam sweetened with only fruit juice, you can use a little of that on your toast. Now, I specify berry because it's a fruit particularly high in fiber, and it'll create less of an imbalance with your toast than other fruits would. Now, for one of my favorite level 2 breakfast recipes, pancakes. At many health food stores, you can find pancake mixes with no white flour, and this one is made with whole wheat flour, and it's fabulous. The small amount of canola oil and egg in these create only a slight imbalance, so they're fine for level 2, and delicious. I also made raspberry sauce by blending together raspberries, a little lemon juice, and a little sweetener, and this makes a great alternative to maple syrup, and again, it only creates a slight imbalance in your diet. But if you feel like having maple syrup, go ahead. Just remember that you've created a more substantial imbalance, and then try to adjust for it by having lunch that follows level 1 guidelines of Sommersizing. That's how all of level 2 works. You don't have to deny yourself anything. Now, I'm not saying you should have pancakes with maple syrup every morning, but only you can determine what your body can handle. It's up to you to find a balance. Nobody knows better than you do. Okay, let's look at lunch. Now, on this second level of Sommersizing, go ahead, add some olives to your Greek salad. Yum, if you want. And now you can add a little Parmesan cheese and a little olive oil to your whole wheat pasta with a tomato sauce, which is fabulous. And here, this is a great lunch. Stir-fried vegetables and brown rice. Use any of your favorite vegetables, and you can use my recipe as a guideline.
Now let's take a look at stir-fried vegetables with brown rice. In this meal, you have vegetables from the vegetable group, oil, a pro-fat, and brown rice, a carbohydrate. Eating all these foods together creates only a slight imbalance and is fine for level 2. On level 1, you could do one of two things. You could have the vegetables and the oil without the brown rice, or you could eat the brown rice with steamed vegetables and no oil. But in level 2, to mix a little oil with the brown rice is just fine.
Now let's say, however, you ate white rice with chicken and vegetables and a sugary, starchy, thick sauce that you sometimes get at Chinese restaurants. Well, that would create a substantial imbalance in your diet. If it's really worth it to you, by all means, eat it. But you're going to have to eat off of level 1 menus for the next couple of meals in order to compensate. Now, again, you are the only one who can determine how much imbalance your body can handle. If you start noticing that you're feeling sluggish or you're gaining a pound or two, you'll want to go back to level 1 until you fix the problem. Sometimes for dessert or a snack later in the afternoon, I have non-fat yogurt with mashed berries.
Now, you can add a little sweetener if you like.
Or sometimes I eat chocolate. Yes, that's right, chocolate. Chocolate is a carbohydrate and a fat, but if you eat dark chocolate, which is lower in sugar, it doesn't create that much of an imbalance. I try to find chocolate that's made with at least 60% cocoa. Okay, let's talk about dinner.
Maybe one more little bite.
Tonight I'm having the whole family and some friends over for a perfectly summer-sized level 2 dinner, and I've prepared a perfectly summer-sized meal. Now here's what I've made.
Whole wheat fusilli pasta with basil, pesto. Yummy hummus and toasted pine nuts with whole wheat pita bread. Tricolora salad with balsamic vinaigrette. Grilled lamb chops with rosemary and thyme and great baked garlic with Stilton cheese. Roasted peppers. Grilled zucchini and Japanese eggplant. A beautiful assortment of cheeses. A white bean salad with mint, capers, and feta cheese. Roasted chicken with mushroom and sausage stuffing and tarragon sauce. And for dessert,
blackberry and lemon tarts with whole wheat crusts. And what celebration would be complete without a sinfully decadent summer-sized chocolate cake?
Whether you're losing weight on level 1 or staying healthy and trim on level 2, you'll have plenty of options at this dinner party. So there's only one thing left to do. Celebrate!